Hi, it's Larry here, Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and you're listening to my second favorite podcast. It's Party Chat. See you later.
Xbox on.
Game on, baby. Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to the Party Chat podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. I am your host, Ross Miller, and I'm joined by everyone's favourite uncle. It's Uncle Jesse. I'd probably rather hear that than you laughing, to be honest with you. So
I was struggling to get that up and running as quick as I could. I didn't think you were going to call on me at first.
And the queen of cosplay herself, it's Carina.
I don't have a fanfare. I feel like, how'd you follow that up? God!
You can.
I can't follow that up. But welcome.
Oh well.
Happy New Year.
Hello. Happy New Year. And a lord and savoury snack himself is delicious cheese.
Hi. Sorry, I can't believe you came out with the horn.
Is that blaring loud right in the speaker? Right in front of me?
I'm actually crying right now. I'm like trying to wipe the tears out of my eyes.
I have to tell you guys, I was streaming with my buddy. I don't think I was actually streaming at the time. I was playing Pubg with my buddies last night, and my buddy's friend were playing, and he gets his first kill, and he puts this thing up to the microphone and presses the button. I lost it. I absolutely lost it. Was not expecting it whatsoever, and I was like, I need that app. I need that app on my phone right now.
You know that sound is like synonymous with like montage parodies, right?
Oh yeah,
There's actually a song on the internet. It like when montage parodies reach their final form. Because everyone loved Sandstorm by Darude, right? You know, song name. And
Lyrics.
There's and there's a cover of Sandstorm entirely made with that sound.
Doesn't surprise me.
How?
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I will provide links. It's amazing.
No one wants to hear that.
Oh, but you do.
Well, this is our first podcast of 2018. Well, we took a well-deserved rest over the Christmas and holiday period, as you Americans say. But later on, we're going medieval on you, as we have an interview with Rick Lagnese, community manager for Warhorse Studios, the developers of a February release for Xbox and PS4, Kingdom Come Deliverance. So you do have that to look forward to later. But anyways, we traditionally get this podcast started with what we've been playing. So I'm going to go to you, Clay, first with your annoying soundboard and ask, what have you been playing so far this year and over the holiday period?
Surprisingly, I have not played any Rainbow Six Siege.
What?
Is that crazy? I haven't played Siege in like 2 weeks, and
withdrawals.
It is. It really is, and I'm debating on jumping back into it. I've been playing a whole lot of Pubg, I think, like everybody. I was also jumping back into Quantum of the Breaks, which I am very much more enjoying now that I'm a bit further along and progressing in the skill tree area. I think I'm almost done with the game. But it's, I've got to stop playing Pubg and get back to actually finish that. And we'll talk about later on. I'll mention some Witcherness. But I need to get going on The Witcher. I've said I'm going to start on that, and I really need to get started with that game. I picked it up like months ago. And still
you should live stream while you do it, and like let us just make the decisions for you, because that could never go wrong.
No, never, never.
Carina.
I've just been playing a bit of Pubg, really.
Carina.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
On what?
500.
Oh, yay.
Thanks, Clay. I was waiting for it. Yeah, boy. But yeah, you passed 500 subs on Mixer. Congratulations.
I have, thanks. Next
and
up, 1,000, I think. Is that the next milestone? Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You'll be there in no time. You got to 500 in like lickety
I was about to say,
quickness.
that's probably Mixer's new. Actually, while we're on the topic of what we've been playing, it's probably Mixer's new mode. I don't know if anyone's been in it. Clay, have you been in it? The Hype Zone?
Yep.
No,
Been
it's
in
a
few
brilliant
times.
mode.
Fun.
But I think that makes it worse though, because the pressure. Like when you're in the top 10 or whatever it is, and Hype Zone appear, you've got about 200 people watching you. The pressure really, really gets onto you. But that's what makes it so much better.
Carina, what's worse is when you're doing really well and you're like, all right, we're in the top 5. Hype Zone's coming. Hype Zone's I didn't get Hype Zone. Why didn't I get Hype Zone?
You're like, you wait for it, and you're getting shots, you're getting headshots, it's best ever, and then they always appear at the worst time. Like, they appeared, and I think I died instantly on one of them, and I was like, oh, great.
That's not as bad as Clay's best Hype Zone. You want to tell everyone about that, Clay?
Yes, where I all of a sudden looked up at my screen and noticed there was 150 people watching my stream, and I'm sitting there on my laptop as my player.
Oh yeah.
Dead. I'm like, wait, what? There's 150 people in here. What the heck?
You weren't even playing.
I wasn't even playing, not even paying attention. Wasted opportunity.
Are you been playing anything else, Carina?
No. I played a bit of the Destiny expansion, but I can't remember how long that came. Yeah, because they released a new raid. But apart from that, over Christmas, I've kind of got addicted to PUBG. I think it's just the adrenaline. I get really, really, like, not competitive, but I get really angry. I get like, if I die, I'm like, why did I do that? And get really, like, angry at the TV.
Well, for me, I'm afraid it's a common theme this week, but I cannot stop playing PUBG. To the point where I've got a couple of chicken dinners on duo and squad. In fact, Clay, did we not win one?
Did we?
I can't remember. I thought we did.
We might have.
Maybe not.
We might have. The most I've won, I mean, I seem to rack up most of my wins, most of my chicken dinners, either in duos or in squads.
Yeah.
I'm getting fat over here eating all these chicken dinners, folks.
When they happen so much, you can't even remember. Like,
No.
But there's one thing eluding me, and that is that solo win. To the point where I'm not streaming, I'm appearing offline just so that I'm not getting distracted or party invites or anything else, and just trying to knock out that solo win. But I can't get it. Finished top 10, top 5, and it is frustrating as anything. And yes, the game has had some crashing issues and everything else, but overall, it is so much fun that I really, really do not care. I am loving PUBG.
nice.
I got my solo chicken dinner dressed as a bush. That was cool.
That's right. You were dressed as a bush.
Yeah, I was like, out of all the things, I was just sat there dressed as a bush for me. And that's probably the only reason why I managed to get it. Because I was just in a ghillie suit, just chilling in a bush. It was quite a good moment. Proud moment.
I don't know if I'd be proud of that.
When we go to Gamescom this year, I'm assuming you're going to go cosplaying as a bush.
Yes. We need. I need like some attachments. Like in Fortnite, they put Christmas lights. We need to find some like mid-year. We need to just find, I don't know, decorate it, and that's it. I will go as a bush. That'll be the see. That's it. That's the ultimate cosplay. And if you don't want to be seen by anything, just curl up in a ball, and there you go.
So that's it. If you want to go to Gamescom, you can see Carina's bush.
What is this
I knew
podcast?
something like that would come up.
Now, guys, before we move on to what's been happening and the subreddit and
Ross,
yeah,
you didn't ask me.
did I not?
No. No, I'm just sitting here like, oh, okay. I see we're moving on, are we?
Oh.
That's all right. That's fine.
I asked all the important people.
Oh.
Shade.
Well, if anyone wants to know, I don't actually own PUBG yet, so I haven't been playing that. But I did play Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh, I liked that. It's a nice game.
It is a nice game. It reminds me very much of Crash Bandicoot. It feels very similar. Nice controls, pretty graphics. It's a nice game. it's impossible to feel bad when you're playing that game. Everything is just so cheerful. Unless cheerful things annoy you, then I guess maybe that game would be infuriating.
Yeah,
But
it's a bit cheesy.
I played that, and I played Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch, and I played more Pit People, and I played lots of stuff over the new year actually, but no PUBG, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully you can pick up some PUBG and we can get some chicken dinners as a squad. But will we find out what's been happening in the subreddit this week?
We might as well.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat podcast. This week in the subreddit.
First story this week, Rhys, take it away.
Microsoft has discontinued the Kinect.
Worst decision ever.
Yeah.
That doesn't
according
surprise
to
me.
user FastForward23, basically Microsoft announced that they were just continuing the Kinect adapter. And it's important to be specific here because the Kinect still exists, but it's the Kinect adapter. But it also means that they're basically discontinuing the Kinect because modern Xbox Ones, the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X don't support it. So, if you're an eBay scalper right now, business is good. People are selling them.
Really?
People are selling their Kinect adapters for hundreds of dollars on.
No way, really?
Yeah, yes way. I was waiting for the sound. You gotta be prepared, man. But the Wilhelm scream? Okay, cool. I can do that. Who here still uses their Kinect?
I use it to stream.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only thing I use it for, or was using it for.
Yeah, I don't have a full streaming setup yet, and basically I use the Kinect, which is on a nice little thing that sits on top of my TV to stream, and it works perfect for what I need it for. Since they stopped the sort of motion and most of the voice commands, I haven't used it for anything else apart from that. That and playing Boomball.
Boomball, yeah. It's sad. I'm really upset. I don't own a Kinect anymore, even though I love my Kinect. I was one of the biggest champions of the device, just because I traded my old Xbox in to upgrade to the X because I ain't got no money, and I didn't buy the connector for it because they're already so hard to come by in Northern Europe that it wasn't worth it. And now they're not even making them anymore, so I actually accidentally made the right choice. But I mean, Microsoft had such a good thing going here. I mean, look at Amazon Echo, or
Right.
look. What's her name?
Alexa.
Alexa. Yeah. Like 5 years before it was even launched. Like this thing is super popular now, but for some reason the Kinect was digital Satan. Like
I'm telling you, it's because it had the camera on it was more than anything.
Probably,
yeah. I still don't understand why with the X we didn't just get some sort of a built-in mic so that we could still have the voice controls. That was like the camera, the games, okay, the camera, okay, I can use it for streaming, which is actually pretty cool. But the voice commands, being able to walk down to my basement and while I'm walking down the stairs and say Xbox on and have my Xbox turn on and it turn on my TV. By the time I round the corner and get to the sofa, everything's booted up and loaded for me. It was so
magic.
cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. We're going to have to change the podcast intro.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's going to have to go.
Yeah.
Nah. It's history.
It's iconic. Why not just put it in the controller?
Yeah.
You mean like the
shout.
PS4?
Well, the PS4's the other
But
way
in
around,
reverse,
isn't it?
it has a microphone. I mean, a speaker.
Yeah, like, that makes sense to me. You know, most people wear headsets as well nowadays. Can you control the Xbox, your voice, using your headset?
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can.
I don't know.
You can.
I'm asking. I wasn't sure.
You can, but only with Cortana.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you got your headset on, you can
didn't
say,
know
"Hey,
that.
Cortana." Yeah, you can. Karina, what's the next topic?
As we're speaking about PUBG, there has been a major update today. I'm yet to try it. I really hope it fixes the crashing because that really annoys me.
Let me just tell you, Let me just tell you, I fired up a game as soon as I heard about it. By the way, it's like a 4 gig update.
Oh, it's a big update, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was either 2 or 4. I think it was 4 gig update. I parachuted. First, when the game loads up and you're waiting in that sort of waiting lobby area, there's like no lag whatsoever, which is cool. Then when you are flying in and you notoriously land and you see blobs for buildings and everything stuttering all over the place, you trying to get in buildings and it's just...
You could actually hear the servers being like...
They somehow have magically fixed all of that. It was the best experience flying in and seeing everything load in properly and not see just blobs for buildings when you land. I think I only had rubber banding issues appear once, and that was maybe halfway through the game. And I think it was when I was bunched together I was driving and I was passing school, and I'm assuming there was a bunch of people there, and maybe that's when it occurred, but it was slight. Didn't have any crashings whatsoever, and I placed 3rd in that game, which was
nice.
It hurt. It hurt. I got killed by a grenade, but it was this seems like the best update yet. And by the way, my favorite feature of this update is they have an option now where you can completely turn off the music while you're in that waiting lobby area. So no more no more of that music there.
Didn't they also introduce first person mode?
They have dedicated first person.
Yeah, sorry, I should specify like first person only.
Yeah, which is pretty cool for those folks that want to venture in and play the game.
I think that would make the game so much better. Like, it would make it much more tense.
Probably would. It probably help me shoot a little better if I played like that.
Probably not good to make a game already as tense as PUBG more tense, but you know.
Who knows? I'm glad they fixed it, though. I was having when Clay was saying the textured building, I once dropped in, parachuted, tried to walk through a door, but because it absolutely just glitched out everything, I ended up being stuck in the door and dying instantly. And not even loaded in the game. But the only advantage was you could actually walk through walls at the beginning you basically had about 3 seconds before everything started like collecting itself. And I used to just walk through walls just to get into buildings, and you could see everything all over the floor, so you just pick it all up and quickly run out before it all loads. So I used to just... it's not really cheating, but I used to do it that way. Other than that, I have died so many times from the glitching. I've died by a fence being... loaded into me. I've been dying loading into a door. I'm so glad they fixed it.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with the turnaround time with all of this. I mean, with I can only imagine how many people have bought this game. And there have been more than a few updates since it rolled out. I think a lot of those other ones were a lot more of the minor updates, and everybody was like, when are you going to fix the game from crashing? Why do I keep crashing every game? It's like at least once a game you're going to crash in black screen and have to load back into the game and pray you weren't driving and drive straight into the ocean or Forrest Gumping it across the map. Your lifeless body's just running across the map. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. If you haven't picked it up, definitely get in there and pick it up. Why don't we look at the next one here, which is a very serious topic that I specifically wanted to talk about. This is from user Stock Jammin', which is when will the appear offline feature ever get fixed on the Xbox? Do you guys use this feature, the appear offline status?
Nope.
I've started to.
Yeah, okay. Ross, do you?
He just said it.
No.
He just said you
When
did.
did I say that?
You said you appear offline, so no one will disturb you while you're playing PUBG.
Oh, no, but this is offline. Oh, sorry, I thought this is offline mode. You know, that way when you play offline.
Ah, no, appear offline.
Appear
Right.
offline. Yeah, this is the status.
I misread it.
So people...
Yes, I do use it.
Yeah, people don't think that you're online, but clearly see that you're online. For those that aren't
I
aware.
didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so
Okay,
basically how this works is, if I log into my Xbox, it's going to show that I'm online, and then usually what happens is, You'll get some messages. Maybe I'm watching a movie or something like that, or maybe I want to play a game and don't want to be bothered by notifications and all that other stuff. Or maybe I just don't want people to see that I'm online doing whatever it is I'm doing on my Xbox.
Yeah, when you're supposed to be working, perhaps.
Rhys, shut up. You can change your status. If you go to your profile, there's an option that says appear offline. So if you change your status to that, what should happen is you shouldn't appear online to anybody. But what happens is your name shows up there on your friends list as offline. So they know you're there. You're just not actively sharing your statuses with everybody as to what you're doing.
It's a different status as to when you are actually offline, is what he's saying. Like, the word offline next to your name only happens when you're in appear offline mode. So when you're actually offline, it says offline last seen 2 hours ago doing this.
Right.
I never realised that.
I never realised that
It's
either.
completely
That is an issue.
So if you see someone just with offline, they're actually online and they just don't want to talk to you.
Right.
They hate you. Yeah, they really don't like you.
I would love it if this went back to how it worked on the 360, where it was like that.
It's a really unusual decision. I don't understand. Like, why not just have busy and then have offline?
I was extremely happy to see with one of these dashboard updates that toggle was right there. If you go to your user profile, you don't have to drill into the profile. You just go to the first screen of your profile. There's a few options, and one of those is appear offline or appear online, depending on what it is. And I thought for sure it was going to be fixed when they rolled it out, and it wasn't. It wasn't. I like to game and not be seen online gaming for a variety of reasons, some of which include what time of the day or evening I might be playing video games or using my Xbox in general.
Although seriously, all those fangirls because of your YouTube account.
No, not that. Oh yeah, there's a few of those, but not that many. Carina's going to run into that now that she's got the 500 mixer.
Oh yeah, but
I went to this week.
You're going to get you're going to be able to cultivate dick pics for us.
Oh yeah, you can rate them. I'll send them to you. You can rate them.
Sweet, we can do that. That could be a thing.
Please don't send them to me.
At least before they've been rated. Ross only needs the highest quality.
No, I just don't. I don't even like looking at my own, let alone other people's. You know what I mean?
Get that 4K.
None of this sub.
There's got to be a
sub 4K. This is what happens when we don't podcast for a while.
Yeah. On that subject, actually, I think we're going to, before we move on to the interview, I do have another quick topic which I'd like to include, if that is okay. After the interview, we're going to reveal the result of the game of the year result. So make sure you stick around after the interview for that. So folks, you've been waiting on it. Coming up now is our interview with Rick. So take it away, Rhys.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
All right, everybody, welcome back to this week's interview, the very first interview of 2018. And we have a very cool guest for you today. We have Rick Lagnese, who is the community manager for Warhorse Studios, who are the developers of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Rick, welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, and it's an honor to be on the first show of the first year.
It's an honor to have you here, yeah. It's a regular old party on the Party Chat podcast. You see what I did there? That was bad, Ross. Cut that out, please. He's not going to cut that out, is he?
No. I'm going to cut out when I mess up.
Ah, right. So, Rick, like I said, welcome to the podcast. How about we start off a little bit easy? Why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what exactly you do at Warhorse?
Yeah, very good. Again, I'm Rick Lagnese, U.S. Community Manager of Warhorse Studios, and do some PR stuff as well. And a little bit about me. I'm a nobody, but my wife makes me somebody, I think. I've been married for 15 years, so I've learned a thing or two, I think. And I have 5 kids, and everything is done for them. And matter of fact, they're playing Mario Kart right now. I said, keep the volume all the way down, and please no screaming. I'm doing a podcast, but they know how that works.
On the Switch?
Yes, on the Switch. We absolutely love it. And but yeah, no, I've been the U.S. community manager now since maybe May of last year, I think. And I'm the only U.S. boy there is, and so I love being able to do just basically everything, and working a lot with the community on Steam and Reddit, newsletters, podcasts, obviously interviews. I love going to E3, Gamescom, and going to PAX. This weekend, and I just love showing off for a game. I love it that they even give me the responsibility of, like the PR manager will sometimes have to do a live stream or an interview, and I'll just have to, I'll handle the press booth, and I love it. I love that I was actually a fan of Kingdom Come Deliverance, a big fan, before I'd even met Warhorse Studios, and it's a long story, but the bottom line is I got very lucky, very blessed to be working with them now. And it's just an honor. Every second of every day, I'm a gamer before I'm a U.S. community manager. So I know how to work with the fans because I'm a fan, and I understand their concerns. I understand their wanting the game to come out. I understand their excitement, their passion. I love it. So I think I work well with this because I'm a fan. I'm just like them. I am them. So
nice.
Good stuff.
One of us.
iRobot, right? One of us, or no? Have you ever seen the movie iRobot? And he goes, one
yes.
It's been a while. I need to watch that again.
Anytime someone says one of us, I always think when he goes, one of us. Perfect. Sorry. So there you go. More randomness.
Well, could you tell us a little bit about the history of Warhorse then? How, you all got it started on the way to making Kingdom Come?
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, really. As all good Czech ideas usually begin, they usually start in a pub. And so you have Dan Varvra, he's our creative director. He's also behind Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. He was a creative director when the studio was in Prague. And Martin Klima, and they got together. And Martin Klima, man, he like has a big background in gaming too. Wrote the script for the role-playing game Dragon's Lair way back in, I think it was 1990 something.
Wow.
And so on and so forth. Big background there. But basically, they came up with this concept of, being that Prague, that's their homeland, right? Czech Republic. They wanted to make a game based on their own history. And it's never been, no video game has ever been made on Czech history before. So this is what Dan wanted to do, and Martin Klima was on board. The problem is that nobody believed. I'm telling you, we talked to just about anybody to help invest in our game, and nobody thought it could be done. Almost no one thought that you can make a game that's based on actual history without magic or dragons. It's just not possible.
I don't remember many dragons and magic in my Central European history class, but maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Just so, the idea, came before the Kickstarter, which was in 2014. But before the Kickstarter, a year or two before that, that's when the idea was brewing. And there was one, local investor that decided to invest, but it wasn't enough. We had to prove that we could have a Kickstarter that was successful. And I think the goal was like 300,000 euros. And in 2014, we were the third most successful Kickstarter that year and did like almost, I think was it 1,300,000 euros that year. So we crushed.
Nice.
Yeah. And we literally crushed it, and literally would not be, I wouldn't be talking to you guys if it wasn't for the support of our fans. So yeah, we're now where we're at is, heck, we're like a little over a month away. I can't even believe it. And we're going to show people why we can make a game that it's a video game. It's a video game first, but the history is very important. And they take a lot of pride in that. That's what's developed our studio now of over 100 people.
So you're going to be, as you said there, releasing Kingdom Come Deliverance on February, 13th. For those that don't know exactly what it's about, can you maybe describe the game for us in your own words?
Yeah, of course I can. So it's an RPG. It's an open world, very story driven. a game that there's a lot of investigating and exploring, first person. And, again, it's based on actual history, which takes place in medieval Bohemia, which is now modern-day Czech Republic in 1403. And that's where you have two kings at war. And you have the king of Hungary, who's King Sigismund. They call him the Red Fox. And he abducted his own half-brother, who is the king of Bohemia. So he abducts the king, and they're brothers, half-brothers. His half-brother was King Wenceslas, and he did not have a lot of fans. He didn't even show up to his own coronation to be crowned by the Pope, because that's where the Holy Roman Empire was really going on, was in Bohemia at this point in time. So King Wenceslas doesn't even show up for his own coronation. And, King Sigismund saw this as an opportunity for what? Of course, power, control. And he comes in with this mercenary army called the Cumans. And the Cumans they're this nomadic tribe, and they were forced out of Asia by Mongolians. And then they lived in Hungary for 100 years, learned the language, and they raid your hometown, which is Silver Scalis, which is a popular place for mining silver. And you play as Henry, son of a blacksmith. And you're on a quest for vengeance because your hometown has been raided, and most of everyone you know has been slaughtered, including your parents, who've been murdered right in front of you. And
Nice.
What's also really important in the story, and you'll see on the box cover art where Henry's holding the sword, where you forge a sword with your father for Sword Ratzicobilia, and it's really a very important sword because it's the very last thing you do with your father before he's killed, and it's been taken from you. And so you want to return the sword to its rightful owner. You want to restore balance by, even though the King Wenceslas was a lazy king, he wants to restore balance, and he wants to find out who's responsible and take vengeance.
So are you telling me that if I pick up a history book, am I going to spoiler myself?
That's a very good question, and the answer is yes. It's, that's just a direct answer. The game is, what's interesting though is this: the game is not like a medieval simulator, so to speak. I mean, it's still a video game because, however, although there will be one ending to the game, and yes, history will repeat itself. It's completely up to you how you get there. So while there is a particular ending, and there's over 4 hours of cutscenes in the game. If you played Mafia 1 and 2, you'll know what I'm talking about being a story-driven game. But yet different cutscenes will unlock based on the choices you make. You can avoid skirmishes by trying to talk, maybe this gang member out of something, intimidate him or persuade him. So people will have different stories to tell, and it's really exciting. I can't wait to hear everyone's experiences, because you're really going to have to sit back and think about some of the decisions you make, because they'll have impacts on the game for sure. You know what though? What's really cool is that especially if you do have a big interest in history, our codex is very lengthy. Like when you play some games and you want to know more about the story or the lore, you look at, like, for example, Fextra Life has an amazing Wikipedia for like Dark Souls or Neo, et cetera, et cetera. We basically have one of those in our game. And that's not just even about how to play the game. That's about like all the characters that are in the game that are actual non-fictional characters that are NPCs in the game, or at least mentioned of. The actual towns, places, what actually happened at those times. It's really, really incredible. It's very in-depth.
I mean, you're talking to us before about, talking to different characters. What about the unique first-person combat?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first-person combat, we try to make as realistic as we can. We have, in our mocap studio, we actually did hire professional swordsmen and fencers to show us the actual animations of how they fought back then, which was, HEMA, which is historical European martial arts. And what we use in the game is actually a physical collision system. So we calculate what weapon you use based on what your opponent is wearing, and how much damage you'll do based on how hard you hit them with, again, what weapon you're using, what they're wearing, what they're not wearing. And, whether you just graze them or hit them, like, even if you hit someone in the chin, for example, their head just, gets knocked right back. With the first person, what makes it great is the fact that you, like, for example, you even have 6 different ways to attack with a, there's like a little, I don't know if you've seen it, like a little star, if you will.
I saw it in the videos, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
IGN,
not like,
I think.
Yeah, definitely on IGN. And it's not like magnetic. So if you swing up, it just means you're swinging in that direction. So wherever it lands is where it lands. But what's important is you're not just going to get, like, for example, a sword that says plus 50 damage and another sword that says plus 100 damage. That's not how it works. I mean, it's based on, the strength of the sword, the sharpness of the sword. But it, you could be a level 100 guy and someone could be a level 0 as far as like your fighting skills. And that farmer could kill you in the beginning. He could also kill you towards the end of the game too, because if that farmer, if you want to attack him for whatever random reason, and he has a sword and he hits you in the head and you don't have a helmet on, you're going to die.
Huh.
So,
I mean, that kind of makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah. No, that's very cool.
I've been told that's how swords work.
Speaking of swords and all of the historical accuracies that you guys are working in here, what kind of cool weapons can people expect within the game?
Oh man, swords, maces, bows, spears, halberd, which is awesome in the game, axes, what am I thinking of? The hammers, hammers in the game. You can use, daggers are great for stealth. And
stealth.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Stealth is a very important part in the game. I mean, you can treat it like, I don't know, like a kind of Assassin's Creed if you want, like trying to take that stealth approach. You can tailor it to how you want to play it. There's no classes in the game. So
a bit like Skyrim, maybe, in that respect.
Absolutely, because, that's what I liked in Skyrim is what you'd use, you'd level up in. So it's the same thing. And then you unlock perks too. There's a lot of there's even perks for drinking in this game. So
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, check historical accuracy. Very nice.
Yes. Check out the check. Also too, with the combat, it's also important to note about the armor. Because in our game, there's like 14 different slots for armor, and there's 2 different slots for rings for nobility and all sorts of things. But excuse me, with the armor, we have different layers of armor. So, it's important to, like, you're not just going to wear nothing under full plate armor, right? You need to have padding. So you'll actually have like your long underwear or whatever you want to call it, your shirt, so to speak, then your gambeson. And then, your chain armor, and then your full plate armor, just as they did back in the day. We've even tested and debunked the myth that you move very slow if you have a full piece armor suit on, that they could still move kind of, nice. I mean, maybe not as fast, but not incredibly slow.
Wait. You're telling me that guys were running around, like developers were running around the office in full plate mail?
I am telling you that Dan Barber has definitely tested this out.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
I need to ask, can I borrow the full coat of armor? Actually, I need 2, because there's something I've always wanted to do, and that is, I want to go into a hotel with me and my friend in a full coat of armor, walk up to the reception and say, "Room for 2 nights, please."
Aww.
Yeah, I get it. If I get some, I'll trade for victims.
And then ask if they get any surcharges. But anyway,
that's so bad.
You were waiting all night for that, weren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. That took a good hour today.
Some of the folks I've been anticipating.
Now, everyone is always asking about choice in role-playing games. Is choice an important factor in the game? Like, are we going to be sitting up all night jousting over our decisions?
I believe so. Okay, let me put it this way. Have you guys ever played Fable 2?
Yes.
Actually, I'm talking rubbish.
One of my favorite experiences of all time, and it might sound silly, but it's when you become the slave, like a slave, and remember you have to, your head gets shaved and all that, and there's that evil lord or whatever you have to submit to, and if you don't, he keeps draining your dang experience points. And Do you remember that? Where he starts sucking your...
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I won't submit. And he keeps taking all my dang experience. I'm like, oh, I won't submit, you know? And I never did. And it was, to me, that was really cool because I was struggling, like, should I give in? Because I spent all this time trying to level up my character, and he just kept draining it from me. And there will be things in the game that, you know, you'll have to definitely think about. I mean, there's some really funny things, too, in the game where, like, you can dress up to play a part to get into something you maybe weren't supposed to by dressing up as a noble person. Or, you know, like you can, you know, if you're all bloodied up, you might be able to get respect to some soldiers. Like, yeah, you've been somewhere, you've been places, and wow, look at you, you know, or you can scare the crap out of people in the town because you're all bloodied up. Like, oh my goodness, what, you know, wash yourself, you're scaring me, you know. But the choices are really essential. I mean, and what's also unique is it's not just the choice, it's also the time sensitivity. Because if you are, you know, talking to someone who says, hey, I have these bandits that are coming after me and I need your help because they're going to kill me. You going to help me? And you say, hey, you know what? Hold on a sec. I want to go I need about 5 to 10 hours. I want to go do some side quests, maybe play some mini games. You know, I'll get back to you when it's convenient. Okay,
the classic RPG thing.
Of course, very classic. Well, then what you'll find is you'll come back and, okay, I did my side quest. That was fun. Where is this guy? And then you find him dead because he's going to be dead because the bandits killed him. And what you could also do is, okay, so you don't do the side quest. Let's say you do want to help him out. Well, you know, you can decide to kill the bandits with him, or maybe, just maybe, you find those bandits that are looking for him and you say, and you actually team up with the bandits and kill the guy with the bandits. Then the bandits will give you quests to do.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
And that's just one of tons of different, you know, things that'll happen in the game. There's people that'll help you out, and you can decide to pay them for helping you, or you can try and run away, and then you'll develop a bad relationship with them. You can be that jerk that wants to try and rob from everyone and steal all their goods in the game. But here's what'll happen. Okay, so if you're in a town, right, and you go in someone's house and you start taking their food and you get away, no one sees you, like, oh, all is well. Well, all of a sudden now you see that this person is at their house more often, and now they have like a dagger or a sword on them, and you can see it because they may not know you stole, but they are suspicious now. And then you might see guards more walking around. They might start questioning people if you keep trying stealing, and then prices might go up in the market. So there are a lot of different pieces going on in this game that even if you skip ahead time, if you travel this way, things are always happening. So nothing is not just going to not happen. You're going to trigger things, and you can't just simply just walk away. People will remember, and you have to, you know, not just earn the respect of the town, but of the individual people as well.
That sounds really cool, especially the way that your quests can sort of cascade into one another. I think the last game I played that did that was Fallout New Vegas a long time ago.
Sure.
That sounds really cool. I actually, before I ask the next scheduled question, it's nice that people react to the way you look. I think one of the funniest things ever was like playing Dragon Age, and you and all of your characters are absolutely caked with blood in a cutscene after a fight, and you're talking to these people, and they just don't react at all, like nothing. You're like, "Hello, friend," or like, "I'm here to help," and you're covered in blood. But anyway, so yeah. I want to know, what do you think is one of the hardest parts of making an RPG like this that people tend to overlook? Like everyone knows that writing quests is difficult, but what do you think is something that's not so appreciated?
Well, I think the biggest thing is probably going to be maybe some of the history of it. Because I tell you this, that we have a full-time historian that works on our team, and she will make sure that we are on point, that we keep things in check. Get it? In check? Okay, that was one of my lame jokes.
That took me a second.
Yeah. I want to not come on our podcast and outdo me. That's not acceptable.
You've been out the pun, girls.
All right, sorry. Anyways, and then we have sculptors and painters. We have this gentleman. He digitally hand paints these paintings that go in the monasteries and the churches. And I am telling you now that there will never, I don't know if if it's capable, even if every fan in the world said, this is amazing. I mean, yes, of course, we appreciate even the littlest compliment, but I'm just saying there's so much detail that goes into the artwork and paint and the music. The music is on point as well. I just think that overall, there'll even be Easter eggs of Czech history, of the Gregorian chant that's done in the monastery, of things that are said without trying to give anything away, that will just pay a lot of homage to history. And, if you're in the Czech Republic, you will even notice your own trees. I'm telling you now, I was in San Francisco and I had someone from Czech. They were looking at the game and they go, "Oh my goodness, those are my trees. That's my grass." Like they could see all their, they felt like they were home. So, that's probably going to be the most easily looked over thing, because people will notice history. But, obviously, unless you're looking at that Wikipedia and reading everything about it, or going back, oh my goodness, that's how the castle looks, because we actually did construct castles according to how they were back then, because obviously they're completely run down or they're not there anymore. But I've been to places that are actually in the game. I go to the studio for a couple weeks out of the year because, again, I live in the U.S. And I've actually been to these places, and some of these places I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like amazing how much it looks like I feel like I'm in the game. Like I'm actually in the game, So it's that would be it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ross has been to the Czech Republic once, but I don't think he remembers it.
This is like Krakow all over again. No, I do remember it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And we've done a lot of history stuff when we were there, actually. Absolutely beautiful Prague.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ancient history I don't know too much of. It was more the sort of building histories which I was looking at, but fascinating city. Fascinating.
I'm
city.
sure it was buildings you were looking at, Ross. When you were in the Czech Republic. That's definitely what I had my eyes on.
Well, speaking of buildings, when I was in, when you go into Prague, into the city, the capital, there are some buildings there that are older than American history, the entire American history. So
it's not hard. It's only been around for 35 years. So, I mean, no, sorry.
Something like
that. Right.
I feel like I need to go exploring more. I've barely been in any of these places.
You haven't been outside your flat in Birmingham, Carina?
Oh, well, that's true. I actually haven't, so I'm a little hermit. So you kickstarted the game originally. So how was that experience? I mean, I'm guessing, the fans have backed you up all the way.
Yeah, and again, I came in, after the Kickstarter, but either way, I was following them the entire time. So the Kickstarter was exhilarating because, we expected that there would be, some degree. We had enough confidence that there'd be some degree of success, but the level that it achieved that year, being the third most successful Kickstarter, I mean, heck, that just got everything in full swing, and realizing, oh my goodness, this game is really going to be made. And, that even allowed us then to, we had released a beta, March of last year. And, it was very, 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 very exciting because again, you're not really sure anytime you release a game on Kickstarter, the exact, response you're going to get, but it was so overwhelmingly positive. I think that, it will help inspire others to make games like Kingdom Come. I really hope that one day we can start comparing games to Kingdom Come Deliverance, not just comparing Kingdom Come to The Witcher or Skyrim. That's and that because of that Kickstarter, that gave us a lot more faith, honestly.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? To be, I suppose people are going to compare them, but to be remotely considered as even on level or better, then amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know that just so I could say the word moat.
Oh God! I was like, it's not.
Do you have like a sheet of paper next to you with a whole bunch of terms?
It's not his turn to ask a question.
I was really busy in work today. So for some violence-shy Finnish people who will remain unnamed, who like to play their games and maybe not get involved in too many battles, are we going to be fighting all the time in this game, or can you play a lot of it without having to enter into fights or battles?
Yeah, so that's a great question because, Kingdom Come Deliverance is actually not a fighting game. And what that means is that, you know, when you're Henry and you're a soldier, you know, you're not going to become some king or lord or control your army. It's a very story-driven game. And while Henry will, you know, have an important part to play, don't get me wrong, the history will repeat itself. And as far as the violence goes, I mean, you could probably go through, I don't know, 75, 80% of the game without killing anybody. And you can even show mercy to people. Maybe by showing them mercy, maybe they'll show you mercy later on. But that's what's great about our game is it's kind of up to you how you want to choose to do that. And while there is a lot of attention and detail that we've put into combat, and by the way, you know, there's you can go into even participate in tournaments and train and go into abandoned camps, and there's bounties, and you can take part in all the bounties you want and taking out people that need to be taken out that are doing bad things or whatever. You don't have to really kill, you know, for the most part. You will be at some points. Some things will happen, but you don't have to. And furthermore, yes, there is blood in the game, but we're not doing the so-called gore porn, right? Like, there's not going to be. Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, like if you have full plate armor on, what would be the realistic chances of you slicing someone's head off or arm off? That's to none. That just doesn't happen. And this is not the movies, you know. This is yes, it's a video game, but we're not going to have that over the top gore. And keep it balanced as much as we can, and making it realistic as much as we can. It's not every day someone's going to sever someone's head. So,
Rick, I got to ask you, one of our favorite bits about open world games are the bugs. Well, not that any game we want to have bugs or anything like that, but it comes to mind as we had some of the folks from Conan Exiles on, and they were telling us while they were getting the game ready for release, they had a bug where the groin region of their characters would
the male
stretch
characters
across the entire map.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Penises stretching to infinity was his
0.01 on the map. Yeah.
Well,
It's a feature, not a defect.
I don't
right?
know if we'll be able to top that one, but you know, the floating horses, of course, that's always somehow, anytime you have horses, they love to float on their own. A horse that likes, you know, that we found that would stand on top of some of the houses, just like it was like protecting or watching over their lords.
Does that make it a unicorn?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sure. You know, unicorn at the very least.
I mean, of course, history accurate.
Yeah, right. You know, we had just funny things. Like I had this one, this glitch was really funny. At least to me it was, where, you know, at night you just can't go into someone's house. Sometimes, obviously, the door, for the most part, their doors are going to be locked. But in this case, the door was open, and this woman, instead of sleeping, lying down on her bed or mat or whatever, was like lying down in front of the door, in the doorway. And I just tried to get past her. I think I was trying to loot the chest or something. And no matter what I did, and then she just never woke up. She just stayed sleeping day and night. I tried to skip time, and there she was. And I'm like, so then I tried, you know, killing her, couldn't kill her, nothing. And it was just funny because it was like her domain and no one was getting by her. And, you know, there's
like
plenty more, you know what I mean? There's like where there's the two-headed man walking around. We had that glitch going on. That was kind of funny, like the guard. And then there's like two heads coming out of him. And, you know, that's always funny because then you feel like you got this like super cool challenge. Oh, we do have fantasy in the game or something. You know, so hey, we'll leave this one guy, the two-headed man, and have it be legendary. So.
Have you been tempted to leave any in? Like I think it was famously if you remember when Skyrim first came out, there was that glitch where if a giant hit you in the right way, you'd like fly up into the sky. And Bethesda famously said, actually, you know what? We're leaving that in the game.
Oh, that was awesome because that happened so many times in Skyrim too. But you know what? I mean, there's so much of an importance of like keeping it. Obviously, again, it's a video game, but like the historical accuracy part, that we'll leave that up to the modding because there will be modding when the game is released.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned Fable 2 earlier on. What about any others? Do you have some favorite RPGs, or if you're playing any right now?
I just finished playing Neo, and I tell you, for a guy who doesn't really swear much at all, if you watch me play at night, you would think, man, what, this guy's a two-faced son of a gun. But I love it. I love games that are challenging. Those are my favorite games. Like, I love Dark Souls. I will die 1,000,000 times. I will actually not level up too much. I don't want to know all the tricks of the trade. There's all these tutorials on how to get better in Neo and Dark Souls. I refuse. I will be as stubborn as heck. I'll use as little as magic as possible. And that which is another reason why I like Kingdom Come, because I love being the warrior, the barbarian. And Neo is fantastic for that. Again, Dark Souls. I love Breath of the Wild. I love how there's more RPG elements, and it was definitely more challenging than any other Zelda by far, except Zelda 2 maybe. I love RPGs. What else? There's a couple like Lords of the Fallen. I love that one.
It's a great game. I think very underrated as well.
Very underrated.
Very underrated, yeah.
And more. But it's hard to, with playing other games at this point in time, because I really don't play during the day unless I'm playing the Switch with the kids here and there. Because, a lot of the games I play are definitely not for kids. And, I do my husband and fatherly duties. So at when everyone's sleeping, that's when I game on. And I like playing, I've been playing Ghost Recon a lot. I love Ghost Recon, and I love playing like a single player. Oh, and of course The Witcher. Would you believe I have only played like 5 minutes of that game? So I can't wait.
Finished it either.
Can't wait.
I've started.
Yeah. when did you buy it? Black Friday.
Yeah,
finally.
I did. Yeah, and I still haven't played it. Rick, I did want to ask you. I mean, from the trailers, the videos that I've seen, the game looks really good. Visually, it looks really good. Any hints on there being an Xbox One X enhanced version at some point in the future?
Oh yeah, no, that's coming out for a release. We've already said it's going to be yep.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh, that'd be pretty.
Nice.
And you know what? And I can say this. Actually, I'm just going to say it. I don't care what people say. I am more of an Xbox guy. There, I said it.
Nice.
So you're on the right podcast, my friend.
I know. I am, and I don't care. I have all platforms. I have everything. I have the Switch, obviously Switch, PS4, Xbox One X. I have, PC, of course. I have it all, and I still prefer Xbox One, especially online.
Nice.
Hands down.
Well, we're all the same here.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, you're okay now, Rick. You passed the test. We're not going to blackmail you.
Well, I know you were trying to avoid the question that everyone fears on this podcast when they come on. We ask, of course, all of our guests it. So are you ready for possibly the hardest question you will ever be asked in your life?
Ooh, bring it on.
Which classic video game character could you knock out with one punch?
Which classic video game character could I myself?
Yeah, personally, if it were standing in front of you.
Well, from one Italian to another, I will take out Mario. There you go.
Another Mario. I think that's like 3 or 4 for the red guy.
It's It's just the old Italian plumber. Yeah. I'm Italian. That's what I grew up with. My first game was Mario and Donkey Kong for the Atari 8600, I think. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Yep.
But not many people choose Luigi because it's. I think it's.
People feel sorry for him.
No. You need to play some Mario Kart. Nobody feels sorry for Luigi.
Oh,
there's darkness in those eyes.
Yeah. Plus, he's taller too, so I have an advantage over Mario. So.
Plus he's Luigi Mario. I feel sorry that his surname's his brother's first name.
Oh yeah, that's a bit emasculating. Yeah. But Rick, thank you so much for joining us. That was, of course, the final question. We are super excited to have had you on the podcast, and we are all obviously very excited, especially now that we've talked to you about it, to play Kingdom Come Deliverance on February 13th, correct?
You got it. Absolutely. Can't wait.
All right. Coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck with your video game, and hopefully we can maybe get you back on here to talk about the first expansion pack that comes out in the near future, perhaps. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anytime.
Brilliant. But thank you so much again, and see you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So thank you, Rick, for taking the time out to join us, guys. That was an absolute fantastic interview, and I cannot wait for this game. I don't know about you, it sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I am really excited. You know, it's always fun when you talk to someone who clearly is hyped up about the game. Like, you know, there's a difference between talking to someone who's just being paid, yes, I am here to talk about the game. Can I have my money now, please? And then you talk to someone who actually won't stop talking about the game just because they're so excited about it. I really enjoy that. And the hype always sort of bleeds into me, I guess. I'm really excited for it now.
So our final topic of the night, and it is a biggie towards the end of the year. Famed r/Xbox One moderator Delicious Cheese basically broke his fingers writing out some Game of the Year awards. Rhys, do you want to let us know what the subredditors voted as last year's Game of the Year?
So, the Game of the Year for last year from our Xbox One was Assassin's Creed Origins. Woo! Yeah, surprise victory. In fact, Assassin's Creed Origins went on to be the highest awarded game in our Xbox One history. I've been doing this for the last 3 years now. And no other game has won as many categories as Assassin's Creed Origins did. It won Best RPG, Best Graphics, Best Action Adventure. It won so many awards. And it's just a phenomenal game. And if anyone has not played it yet, you really need to play it. And of course, special mention goes to Cuphead for winning Xbox One platform, or rather console exclusive of the year as well. Another well-deserved victory. I don't think anyone was surprised by Cuphead. No?
Well, the one that I'm always intrigued about, right, and I don't think I've seen what won this year. Can you just confirm what won Best Racing Game? Because it's always so close. Well,
I think Best Racing Game this year was actually Pool Nation FX. Let me just check.
That's great.
That's an old meme, sir, but it checks out. It was Forza. I don't even know why I write that. I don't even know why I write that. Seriously, it's the same every single year. But this year's award for Forza was a little bit special in that it was, it was just brutal how many votes it won by. Let me just quickly check. Actually, I'll tell you how many it won if I just scroll down.
No love for Need for Speed Payback?
I think there was 6 votes for Need for Speed Payback, but let me just scroll down here. So the margin of victory was it won by over 3,000 votes. Basically everybody voted for it because we had 3,281 respondents. So yeah, everybody voted for Forza 7 this year. It's not bad. And of course, my favorite categories, most hated was EA. And the most bangable character was the retry button in Cuphead, which was an interesting choice. And as always, very, very popular contenders in the other category were Major Nelson. Congratulations, Larry. You are mentioned quite a lot every year. And My Mother is always a very strong contender for most bangable every year in the other category. And oddly, there was quite a few votes for the Puddle Slime from Slime Rancher. And I thought that was unusually specific, especially to have so many people put that in the other category. But there you go. Puddle Slime. Well done.
That's mental because everyone knows that the Gold Slime gives the best head.
Oh, yes. Very good.
But,
a couple of years back, we gave most bangable character to Kevin Spacey, and that hasn't aged too well. just putting that out there. I think we killed Clay.
I think he's gone.
That's Ross.
That's Ross.
Ross. That was sorry. It's the truth though.
So another episode is over. Guys, thank you so much for joining me again for another week. And thank you to Rick for joining us.
And just to cut in here, thank you so much, guys, all of you on here, except Ross, because he's, rolling on the floor laughing, trying to recover from the Kevin Spacey joke. But seriously, it's great to come back after a holiday and talk to you guys, and it's so good to to speak to all of the fans out there. We love you all. We had a lot of people asking us when we're going to come back, and a lot of people saying they can't wait to get us back and hear us every week. And that sort of stuff is actually really nice to hear, especially over Christmas and the New Year. So thanks, guys. You're all pretty great. And so for me and these other guys here, I really hope that you had an absolutely fantastic Christmas and an awesome New Year. And we cannot wait to hang out with you for the rest of the year. Right, guys?
Yeah, most definitely.
Clay?
Faux show.
That's good, because you paused. I was like, wait, he's not gonna be on this. There we go. Thank you. Clay, you do the intro every single week. That's not a pre-recorded recording. You know, we get you in here and you actually say that.
I know.
Week. Yeah,
every week.
Do you wanna do the outro? Do you wanna turn the Xbox off?
Xbox turn on.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
It's settled. Let's do this.
3, 2, 1, Mark. Yeah. Hello. Oh, for good timing.
All right, I'll stop talking.
Every time.
How you doing?
How you doing?
You're so much better at that than I am.
Hello and
Podcasting. New Year, who dis?
as this week's interview is a little bit medieval themed, I just want to run by you some chat up lines that I've been using on online dating.
Oh, no.
So earlier on today, I was writing some medieval puns for the forthcoming interview, and I thought I'm going to try some of these on one of the various web apps I've got.
Also, it's not just Tinder; it's various now. You've branched out.
No, it's just that. It's just that. It's just that. So I want you to let me know what you think of some of these. Okay.
As Carina, we're going to have, this is like your area of expertise.
Okay, go.
They don't call me Lancelot for nothing, you know.
Okay, my dad's called Lance, so.
Oh no. Swing and a miss.
Just to ruin that one.
My lady, it's not the size of the wand that matters, but the magic within.
Oh, really?
I feel like these are just going to get worse and worse.
Dost thou practice safe hex?
God, that was bad.
I'm going to go on. When the Inquisition put me in the rack, my limbs weren't the only thing that they stretched.
This gets better. Karina's just making noises now, like she's aghast.
Have you used these on people? Have you got a reaction from them?
Of course, yeah. Like, what's a nice maiden like you doing in a dungeon like this? Dost thou know that chastity belt of yours would look great on my sleeping chamber's floor? Didn't your mother ever tell you a cleric a day keeps the black plague away? And I'm done.